Harvesting timber on steep and difficult terrain is one of the most dangerous jobs in New Zealand. Contractor Danny Arbuckle and his wife Janine run two hauler crews who specialise in the most difficult log recovery work.
The business is harvesting logging crew. My wife and I are here in the Bay of Plenty and we've got two haulers here. Basically we harvest the wood, we cut it down, pull it up to the top, cut it to length, and then we send it on the trucks out to various markets. To get work in this particular forest, we have to tender alongside everybody else, I guess, that have the same sort of gear as us. So normally it's an open tender, which is 9 times out of 10 New Zealand wide, and it sort of comes down to the best price. There is sometimes, depending on what forest owner you're working for, the loyalty side of things where your performance and I guess what sort of relationship you have with the forest owner gets you through to the next round. There's a huge amount of things that we have to do through production, meeting their targets every day, health and safety, making sure that every day is a good day in terms of people going home, no accidents, incidents, those sort of things. They're unavoidable, but you have to do your best to try and sort of get past that. I guess the be-all end-all is making sure that whatever we do in this forest is 100%. We're in a position where we're with two different forest owners at the moment, so we can sort of see what's happening on both sides of the fence. In terms of the volume going forward, it is really good. The cut is huge. But again, that's really nothing unless you are prepared to sort of put your best foot forward and deliver to the forest owner. This particular crew here, they've got to put out at least 300 tonne a day. 30 tonne is a truckload. So looking at 10 loads a day, truckloads that have to come and go out of here every day. And as far as the drugs go, we have basically a zero tolerance with drugs and alcohol. And if we put an ad in the paper and we get people that have applied for the job, we have in the actual ad that there will be a drug test pre-employment. But what we're finding now is that there is a lot of younger people coming through that are not passing that particular test, and that's the first stage. This is what you call a hauler crew. Basically, we go into terrain that is not flat. It's always very, very steep, and you can't get machines down into there. So basically, someone has to sort of get the steeper stuff, and that's us. So what we have to do is we send our faulers out. We come in first, and we plan the whole forest or the settings that we're going to do, and we send our faulers out, and our faulers are normally always away from the crew on their own. But he has a radio, RT, the whole lot, so he's communicating with us every half an hour, making sure that he's safe, he's all good to go, and we've got a check-in book that we sign. And our guys, if we don't respond, someone else will pick up his call. If he doesn't respond, then we'll go and see him, make sure he's all good to go. So basically what he's doing is that he'll fall pretty much for a week, 2 weeks in total, until we're basically right behind him. Our guys will come in with a hauler, we'll set up, and we'll just start hauling the wood out of those steep terrains and pull it up to a flat area where we can load it out. We've got a hauler and the hauler driver up on the very top, and we've got a spotter at the very bottom. So that guy down at the bottom, the spotter, is the hauler driver's eyes and ears.
Left a little.
He's directing the grapple when it's coming down to the logs. The spotter down below is telling the hauler driver when to slow down till he just about gets on top of the log, and then they've got their own lingo. He'll tell them to drop the grapple, it'll go down on top of the log till it's close, and he'll pull that log straight back up again, and then he goes back down and gets another one. So it just eliminates that sort of that danger zone breaking out, getting under the strops and hooking everything up. This hauler is a little bit different setup to other haulers. We don't have breaker outers in the gullies, which are guys that run underneath and strop up the logs and then run out again. Basically what we've got is just a grapple system where he goes down with a big grapple and grapples the log, pulls it up and sends it up to the top. So those are the two differences. We don't have the men down in the gullies, we just have the grapples. It's called a Waratah, and it's been designed from a place in Tokoroa in the Waikato. Basically what it does is it eliminates the guys on the ground. It's got a computer inside it, and we get a cut plan sent to us every week. We give it to Eugene, the operator. He programs it into the computer and basically cuts the logs to length to those desired markets, depending on whether they export or domestic. When the wood's brought up from the bottom from the grapple from the hauler, he normally sits behind the hauler or beside the hauler, and he grabs the logs, he takes all the branches off. So that basically it's like a power pole with no branches. He cuts the butt off, and then he starts working his way down the end from priority of the log to the butt down to the small end. and he just sort of cuts it into different grades. The cut plan that he punches in, it's got a whole series of numbers in there, and as the head's walking down the actual stem of the log, it's measuring from the time he lets the saw out, it's measuring the whole log. So it tells him exactly when to stop and to cut. But he has to use his log maker skills, I guess, in terms of looking at the knots and the prune part, and then he makes the decision alongside the computer. There's two saws. You've got the main saw, which cuts the butt off, and then you've got a docking saw at the other end of the head that cuts the small end diameter. So yeah, takes a lot of work off. Once it leaves here, our 86 logo is on the log. It could go to the port, we could get rung up to come down and view the log, so we know exactly which are our markings here, our logs. This particular crew, Peter's the manager here, and it's a fully mechanised operation.
The role is just to make sure that health and safety is all up to standard, making sure that maintenance and all the gear is all up to standard, dealing with forest owners like forest managers, more or less day-to-day running of planning, setting the planning for the skids and that, and the machinery. Oh, it's very tough, yeah, pretty tough, all right. You know, you get days where weather conditions can hit you back hard. Settings could maybe go out to 400 or 500 metres, and it's pretty long hauls for the system we use. And we're an 8-man crew, so it's the tight skids, as you can see, is always a challenge. So guys have got to be on the ball. They're not able to just do one job. I can usually move them around so they can take care of, when guys are away, they can fill in that role, you know. So it's you have to be flexible, you have to be ticketed to do the job, and I'm quite lucky to have pretty well skilled guys, you know.
I'm really optimistic. I love logging, and the guys that are with me also do. Going forward, we are really excited, I guess, about the cut that's coming up, but it all comes down to making sure that we deliver. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day, I think, on who you are with some forest owners. It's just basically making sure you deliver on the day. So, like I say, it comes right back to the production levels that we've got to meet with them, and also the health and safety, because if those two don't come in hand, yeah, you don't really have too much of a hope.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.